Hello, my dear students. How are you all? I hope all of you are well. I am also well by the grace of Allah. Dear learners, you know that we all are going through a very critical situation because of COVID 19. And we can't tell you for sure when we all get rid of this pandemic situation. Because of this pandemic situation, our academic life has seriously been affected. In order to bring the situation into normalcy, we all have to maintain the health guidelines. That's why I humbly request you to put on the mask if you need to go out. And I also request you to wash your hands with detergent and soap very frequently. Dear learners, I am Shahriar Ahmed, your English teacher. Today, I would like to conduct the class on English second paper. This class is specially meant for the students of class 10. Dear learners, over the last couple of weeks, I have been teaching you tag question because this tag question is not only important but also very much practical. In our day-to-day life, this tag question is very much needed to make communication and to express ourselves. Dear learners, in a sequence of the rules of tag question, today I would like to start from the rule number 8. Since in the previous class I taught you up to rule number 7. Since I've been teaching you on the topic of tag question, especially how to select the subject while answering tag question. In a sequence, today I will also teach you some other rules. Let's get started. Dear learners, today we will talk about rule number 8. First of all, I will write down question here, answer. 1 male, female. Dear learners, as you can see, I have written down 1 male and female. If you ever find any male or female in the question of tag question, be it a name or any kind of designation like father, mother, sister, brother, uncle, whatever it may be. If you ever come across any male or female as the subject, okay, in the question of tag, then instead of this male and female, you will write down either he or she in place of the answer. I am going to repeat once again. In the tag question, if you find a single male or single female, instead of them, you will write down either he or she. Now I am going to show you an example. Rina is a singer. Dear learners, this is a question. Rina is a singer. Okay. In this question, we come across the word Rina, the proper noun Rina. It's a name, and the subject is a single female, one female. So whenever we will find any name or any male or female, if it is one in number, instead of the name we will write down either he or she. Since Rina is a female, so we will write down she. She. Okay? She. Now we can see the auxiliary verb is. So we'll write down here is. Since in this question there's no negative word, so we will use a contracted form of not. So the question is Rina is the singer and the answer is on she. Similarly, if I write down another example, father was ill. You can see here the subject is father. The father is one and he is a male. As I told you, if you come across any subject, if the subject is a single male or female, instead of that person we will write down either he or she. Since father is a male, so we will write down he, not father. And the auxiliary verb is was, so we will write down here was. There is no negative word in the sentence, so we will write down a contracted form of not. So the answer to the question father was ill will be wasn't he? I am giving you some time for you to understand and copy. Okay. Dear learners, let's move to the next rule. The number of the next rule will be 9. In this rule, we learn that if the subject of the text question is one mate inanimate means জড় পদার্থ, dear learners, in the tag question if you come across a single inanimate object, I mean জড় পদার্থ, or one animal, okay, it may be a cow, a cat, a tiger, a lion, whatever it is, or any inanimate object like the book, the road, the building, the house, whatever it is, okay. In the take question, if you come across a single inanimate object or any animal, okay, or animate object, you will write down it instead of the answer. For example, example 1, I wrote down the book is very interesting. This is the question. Dear learners, you can see that I have written down the book is very interesting. Here we find the subject is the book. It's an inanimate object. So whenever we will come across a single inanimate object, then we will use it in place of the answer instead of the subject. So here we find the subject is book, so we will write down here it, since it's a single or one inanimate object, okay. Again we will look into the Auxiliary verb, since the auxiliary verb is, so we will write down here that one. There is no negative word, so we will write down the contracted form of not. So in total, the answer is on T. So the answer to the question, the book is very interesting, will be is on T. Dear students, I would like to request you to notice the matter. Here the subject is book, but instead of book I have written down it, since it's an object. Okay, whenever you will find any object, you will write down it instead of it. The condition is the subject or the animate object or inanimate object will have to be only one. Okay, let's see another example. The cow is a domestic animal. Dear learners, you can see the question is the cow is a domestic animal. In this question we have found the subject to be the cow. Here the cow is an animal, but it's single. It's one in number. It's a singular number. Whenever you will find the subject to be a singular, okay, number, and it's an animal, you will write down it instead of it in the answer. Okay, it. Again, is on it. Similarly, whatever animal you find as the subject of the text question instead of the animal, you will write down it. This is the way. In this way, you can find the cow, the cat, the ant, the elephant, okay, the lion, and all the other inanimate objects. In short, I can say whenever you will find any animate object or inanimate object, you will write down it instead of them. But the condition is that in the subject or in the place of subject, the animate or inanimate objects will have to be a single one. Okay, let's move to the next rule. In the next rule, dear learners, while answering that question, if you find the subject to be more than two, then in the answer you will write down they. Okay, this is very simple. In the tag question, if you come across any subject that are plural in number, okay, that are more than one, okay, more than one, I should write down more than one, okay, it will be better for you to understand. If it is two or more than two, or if it is more than one, then instead of those subjects you will write down they. I have written down more than one subject. They may be the man, woman, okay, animals, birds, substances, any kind of object it may be. If the subject of the tag question is more than one, I mean two or two crore, you will write down they in place of the answer. Okay, this is a very simple. Here, if you come across any kind of subject that are the males and the females in plural number, instead of the males and females names, you will write down they in the answer. Okay, let's see. Rina and Mina are friends. Dear learners, you can look at the question that I have written down. The question is Rina and Mina are friends. Here you can see I have written down the name of two females, two girls. If the subject was a single female, I would write down she instead of they. Since here I find the subject to be more than one, I mean in a plural number, so I will not write down Rina and Mina or she. Instead of Rina and Mina, in place of the answer, I will write down they. Okay? Because Rina and Mina are the plural subjects. Whenever you will find the plural subjects in the question, you will write down they instead of the subject's name. So here the auxiliary verb is are, so we will write down are, no negative words, so aren't they. Now you can notice very clearly, instead of Rina and Mina, they are the names of the girls. Instead of these names, we have written down they. Similarly, if I write down another example like trees are useful to us. Dear learners, the question that I have written down is trees are useful to us. Here you can see trees as the subject. If I ask you the question, how many subjects are there in this sentence? In this sentence, you can see the subject to be in the plural form. Trees, it means more than one. Whenever you will find the subject in the plural form, you will not write down it. Instead, you will write down they. Are, you will write down are, no negative words, aren't they. So my dear learners, whatever I just wanna convey to you is that when you will find the subject to be more than one or in the plural form, then instead of those subjects' names or subjects, you will write down they instead of those subjects in the place of the answer. Okay? Now I'm giving you some time to copy. Okay, I think you have. So, dear learners, I hope by this time you have understood how to select the subject or how to write down the answer against the subject in the text question. If I try to make you understand in brief, then I would like to say, if you find a single name in the question of that question, you will write down either he or she. If you find any other subject that is a single subject or in the singular form, but not the male or female, you will write down it instead of those subjects. But if you come across any subject that are in the plural form, you will write down they instead of those subjects. So these are the three rules that I have tried to make you understand, and I hope you have already understood that. Dear learners, Today, I won't prolong our study session. Before I conclude our teaching today, I would like to say that the situation is not going very well because of Omicron. So I expect you to be more careful and conscious about maintaining all the health guidelines and take the precautionary measures. No more today. All the best.